the PyDI Roadshow is where you really bring practitioners together, right? Practitioners who use the Pi system together with people who know the Pi system, who install the Pi system, who also define the future roadmap. So you really want to bring those two perspectives together. You want to make people talk to each other, right? Because it's a community anyways. The types of conversations we all love to have is technological conversations, but honestly, me from the IT/OT insider, we believe that there is enough technology available on the market, and AVEVA's technology is definitely one of them. But what I like to have is the conversation on how do we bring actual value to our business? How do we cooperate? How do we cooperate across the boundaries, across IT and OT and operations? How don't we just install a new version of something, or how don't we just, try an AI application? But really tie that back to business value. That's for me the most important conversation. I love the fact that we're asking questions to the audience throughout the day, and we're taking those answers, and we're just, I hope we can really have a couple of very difficult ones. And I'm the moderator, so I don't have to answer them. I can just throw them back to the panel members and let them answer the difficult ones. If we want industrial AI, we obviously need data, but we don't just need that data. We want to have a data infrastructure which is scalable. We want to make sure that the data is made readily available to all data consumers, and not just as it is, but preferably in context. What is context? It can be asset context, it can be production context, maintenance, but you want that contextual information, that let's call it a bit of metadata around what we are measuring, and we want to make sure that we bring that contextualized, that enhanced data set to our AI applications. And another word which also floats around from time to time is the unified namespace, UNS in short. I believe that this is really the foundation of a UNS, of a governed dataset, a contextualized dataset, is by, for example, using the Pi system, bringing that data to consumers. And those can be a normal dashboard, but it can also be your super advanced industrial AI application. There are two main types of challenges. There are obviously the organizational ones and then the technical ones. I love organizational challenges, so to say. So I think the most important one is to make sure that everybody in an organization across operations, OT and IT understands what the other one is doing. Solving an AI problem, it is not the problem of only IT or let alone OT, because AI applications are typically not really in the scope of OT people. It's also not the problem of a data scientist or a data engineer. They need to come together. So from an organizational point of view, you want to make sure that there is a mutual understanding between those groups, but there is also a good way to cooperate. And then from a technical perspective, we want to make sure again that we have our data available in a scalable way as a platform available to all data consumers without having to write custom code, without having to, all the FTP dumps and the CSV files. No, just having live, contextualized data of quality available to all those applications. And then, if we have those applications built, also being able to close back the loop to the local systems. Because if you just have one AI application running somewhere in a cloud, that's really nice, but we want to feed back those insights to the plant users, to the shop floor as well. The traditional Pi users, they have a small, large or extremely large on-prem install available. Some are local, some are global, but they are on-prem or in a private cloud anyways. So I think the most important question here is, how can we move from this on-prem mindset to a hybrid/cloud native mindset? Because if we want to go indeed for these steps towards digital transformation, towards industrial AI, we need those cloud systems anyways. So it's a bit of a mindset shift, it's also a bit of a technology shift. We are post-COVID, where working from home or staying at home was so, I would say, the most easy or the most logical thing to do. And I have the feeling that the years after COVID, conferences, bringing people together, sharing experiences was a bit Yeah, it wasn't our top priority, to say the least. And I believe that people start missing this. You want to exchange information. You want to be triggered by your, well, not only colleagues, but also your competition, by vendors, by thought leaders. So I think just having people be together, exchanging ideas, learning from each other, it's invaluable. If there's one thing to take away, it's the technology is here, the possibilities are here. But it's up to them to define what they need, what their company needs. Because in the end, it's about the companies we all work at. So if they go home or if they go back to their office and they ask themselves the question, what are the steps my company needs to take in the years to come? And then also, how are we going to take those steps? And what is the value for my company? Well, I think then we can have a very, very, very good conversation.